life. In China, they invented an
Gibson!
About half of my district is on Medicaid. And the recent budget that is being discussed in the House right now would leave 50,000 people in my community without health insurance. So Secretary Kennedy, my question for you is, why do you think that a community like mine doesn't deserve access to that same basic health care provided by Medicaid that you benefited from?
I do believe they are. I do believe that is the design of the Medicaid program.
So do you disagree with the cuts that are being proposed for Medicaid right now?
Oh, the cuts to, this is I don't know if you understand this or whether you're just mouthing, the Democratic talking points. The cuts to Medicaid are for fraud, waste, and abuse, and I'll tell you what that means. It means that because of DOGE, we were able to determine, and it's about 8 million people who would be affected. Because of DOGE, we were able to determine that there are 1 million people who are claiming Medicaid from multiple states. That's illegal. It's theft. You're not allowed to do that. There are another 1 million people who are collecting both under Obamacare and
Secretary, that has nothing to do with the budget that's actually being proposed.
These are the only cuts that are being made. These are the only cuts that are being made to Medicaid.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. There are another 1 million illegal aliens. We announced a law yesterday, a rule yesterday, we're not going to pay illegal aliens anymore. And guess what Gavin Newsom did this morning? He said, we're going to take all the illegal aliens off the California Medicaid rolls because the feds aren't paying for them anymore. So the Compassion Act.
Taking the illegals off.
Run by the deep state. Let me ask you about
President Trump saving us from a Democrat elite pedophile cabal doesn't sound so crazy anymore, does it?
QAnon. It is this theory that Democrats are a satanic pedophile ring and that you are the savior of that.
Savior of
now,
the world.
can you just once and for all state that that is completely not true
So,
and that disavow QAnon in its entirety?
I know nothing about QAnon.
I just told you.
I know very little. You told me, but what you tell me doesn't necessarily make it fact. I hate to say that. I know nothing about it. I do know they are very much against pedophilia. They fight it very hard, but I know nothing about
They believe it is
If
a
you'd like me
satanic cult
to
run by the deep
study the
state.
subject, I'll tell you what I do hear about it is they are very strongly against pedophilia, and I agree with that. I mean, I do agree with that, and I agree
but
with it.
there's not
very
a
strongly.
satanic pedophile cult
no
they run
idea.
by.
I know
You
nothing
don't
about
know that? Okay.
No, I don't know
You
that.
just
And
this
neither
week.
do you know that.
Okay. Let me ask you about
neither
QAnon.
do you know
It
that,
is
bitch.
this theory that Democrats are a satanic pedophile ring and. God damn it! Oh.
Okay. I've been feeling kind of alone lately. I need a kiss.
Go.
Huh?
Get out of here.
When you get an elbow like that. That's how you get an elbow. Danielle!
No, I don't.
That feel good.
No, it sure don't. You better get the ass away from me.
God damn it!
People getting tired of that bullshit.
But President Biden.
Hakeem Jeffrey has no idea how to get out of being questioned about his role in covering up Joe Biden's mental and physical decline. That's Obama light. Because he's got some white up in there. There's somebody in the woodpile. Call it the N-word. Hey.
Didn't even recognize George Clooney at a fundraiser the movie star was actually hosting for him. Why should voters trust Democrats when it's clear so
Let's
many
move
in your
forward.
party went to great lengths to keep Biden's
CBC
condition
Schumer's.
hidden from the public?
Chapman.
I can't tell you what happened between George Clooney and President Biden. I wasn't at that event. What I can say is that we're not looking backward. We're going to continue to look forward because at this moment,
Hell no. We're going to look backwards there, buddy. We need to go back to 2020 when y'all stole the election and got caught. Trump caught them all.
real problems that need to be addressed on behalf of the American people, including the Republican effort to snatch away health care, snatch away food assistance, and hurt veterans.
You interacted with President Biden during those days, those final days he was president of the United States. Did you sense there was a major deterioration?
He did.
Well, in the conversations that I was able to have on behalf of the House Democratic Caucus in those final days, we simply expressed our perspective as to what would be best for the party at that given moment in time. President Biden subsequently made the decision that he was going to pass the baton to Vice President Kamala Harris. Of course, that was a decision that we supported strongly.
Just very quickly, I want to ask you, Congressman Jeffries, you say we're not looking back, we're looking forward, but what happened in the past has to do with what's going to happen in the future and whether voters can trust Democrats.
They can't.
As you look back, you were in a leadership position when President Biden decided to
Thumbs
run
up
again.
on the,
Should you
on
have
the
done
YouTube
more
side
at
there,
that
people.
point to
Thumbs up
intervene?
and a comment, please and thank you.
It's a great question in terms of whether
We need like 5 comments over there on the YouTube side. Danielle spelled her name out yesterday. Clearly meeting that goal. Maybe she could do it again with some words of encouragement or something like that.
voters can trust Democrats or not. Every single high-profile special election that has taken place since President Trump was inaugurated, a special election victory in Iowa in January, a special election victory in New York in February, a special election victory in Pennsylvania in March, a special election victory in Wisconsin in the Supreme Court race in April, and yesterday decisively defeating a Republican incumbent in Omaha in a surprise to many observers. Clearly,
it's a surprise because y'all are cheating.
Voters are trusting Democrats. This year, when they go to the ballot...
Cassie, go over to the YouTube side, if you don't mind, and do a thumbs up and leave a comment. 5 comments, if you don't mind. We'd appreciate that, Cassie.
Repeatedly rejecting MAGA extremism.
Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leader in the House.
The
She has to believe is, Lord, oh my God, these people are missing a few
SAVE
things.
Act.
Yes. Can you explain to me what the SAVE Act is?
Well, I mean, if you look things up and if people would actually do their research, it is a part of the 2025 agenda that this administration ran on that they denied. But what it amounts to is people really want to, what they really want to do is they want 1 vote per household. And in order to do that, you have to stop women from voting. And the way that you stop women from voting is that you tell them they have to have 2 forms of ID. Well, you have to have 2 forms of ID, so you have to have a birth certificate.
So it makes it harder.
You have to have a birth certificate, and you have to have a state ID or a driver's license. Well, my last name as a married woman is not going to match. Those items aren't going to match. So my last name on my birth certificate as a married woman is not going to match my driver's license, which means I can be denied the vote.
So how would they be able to fix that problem right there? How would they be able to fix that problem?
Well, they can put wording in there that says that won't matter, but they won't put wording in there. The wording is not there that says that women who are married will be exempt from that match. Okay, they're not. It's not in there. And they keep, and when this is brought up at town,
this is why women don't need to be voting.
Halls, they talk over it. They jump over it. They will not answer it directly.
And why is that?
Well, because they don't.
That's why we don't want women voting. German prosecutors warn Bill Gates prison awaits as cancer causing DNA found in COVID vaccines. German prosecutors are circling their message to Bill Gates. Judgment is coming. Here's Cassie getting her ass whooped after a freak off where she didn't rub baby oil in the right spot on his butthole. He got angry. They said that that interview with that guy that shot up Trump's place down there, that was doing the interview talking about he was Diddy's sex slave. Cassie yesterday on the stand verified that he was a sex slave. Diddy said, you better get your ass up, girl. Don't make me come over here and drag you down the hallway by your hair. Get up. Kick her right in the butt. You're going to leave a bruise. Something fell out of the purse right there. There you go. Drag her on down the hall. Drag her on down there. That looks like some money. Wrinkled up dollar bills, y'all. Call me. Police, I need the police. Help me. He's coming back. Help. He's up in there with his towel. He's probably butt naked up under that. He's got his socks on, though. So she didn't put it on him right, because if a girl gets on it right, it'll knock your socks off. That's where that saying comes from. Got your toes curled up, and your ass is in there. That could be like a new song. She's putting on some lip balm, because her lips was all chapped up because of what she was doing in that room. What was you doing with your mouth, girl? Knock my socks off. Knock them off. Here he comes. He's coming in there hard. Oh, see, you see her in the mirror back there where he's manhandling her. They're all coming in there. Get your ass up, girl. What kind of socks is that he's got on? Them are gay socks. Does he look all baby oiled up? Because they said they was using a lot of that baby oil in them free call parties. What I heard, what's his name? What's his name's daughter's the one prosecuting this. Comey? Is it Comey's daughter? Oh, he's throwing potty plants at the bitch. I'm calling somebody. Yeah, I need some help up here on floor 6. They on the 6th floor. That ain't the way you're supposed to be loving on each other when you get through doing a Diddy party. Now, you ain't supposed to be all violent like that. Most of the times when I get mine off, I like to lay back and just relax. I ain't got to get up and chase people down the hall. What are you doing? I'm laying here relaxing. What do they call that? I'm afterglowing. That's what I'm doing. I'm afterglowing. And just reminiscing about what I just did. I can't believe I did what I just did. I can't believe you did that, Jamie. I did. And I damn sure did it. Now, I can get up and fix me a sandwich. Because sometimes I do that when I get through, too. I go, what do you want, John? Bologna sandwich. Why? Because I just got through knocking socks off in the bedroom in there. She's in there looking for her socks. You can't find them. We need to put out an APB on a pair of socks. Jamie done knocked them off in here. This is a long version of this video. 14 minutes long. I didn't know it was this long. And he's sitting there trying to explain to you, come on back to the room, baby. I'm sorry I kicked you. It throws you to the ground. Don't make me come back over there. And then you throw the potted plant at me. You shouldn't throw that potted plant at me. Who's this one? This is another one? Or is this a repeat? See, she ain't trying to get out there fast enough. You need to hustle. Put a little pep in your step, girl. You ain't got no socks on, so your socks got knocked off. See, he come running because he was in the bathroom and he was in the shower. And then he had to get out of the shower because he had to take it like a greasy dump. And it's wet too because he didn't dry off. When he sit on it, you slide around on the toilet seat when you're wet like that. And he said, hey, baby, can you bring me something? And she didn't answer. So he knows she was gone. Let me catch her before she gets on the elevator. She got my key. What room are they in now? Well, that says 622 this way. So it had to be 630, 623 that way. And then they come around the corner down there. Probably one of the, it ain't a penthouse. Dragging her down the hall. Carpet burned. I got your shit, bitch. You ain't going nowhere. You can't keep them like that. You can't make them stay. You gotta let them go, Diddy. When they want to go, you gotta let them go. We ain't gonna fight about throw the potty plant at you, girl. You gonna sit there and take it. Because your socks got knocked off in the process. You ain't even gonna be wanting to leave. You're gonna be wanting to move up in here. I said, I can't be doing all that now. He don't look shiny like he's got baby oil all over. He looks a little ashy. I got your stuff. They done both got locked out of the room. Ain't neither one of them got a car to get back in. Unless he put his shoe in the door. Uh-oh, that's security. Security done had to come up in there. What's going on there, did he? I got a call and it's all on video. You know this is on video, right, did he? You can't be putting your hands on him. This guy right here ought to go to jail for not calling the law. Moobs is man boobs, I think. He just walking around in the hallway up there with no clothes on. He might be texting on the Uber. Diddy's going to jail. What's Hot Wheels? Soccer.
De la defensa.
Go! Whole bar goes crazy. That's crazy. Boeing did a deal over there for 160 planes. Biggest deal Boeing's did in their history. What are they singing? This guy right here, Trump, what? Trump's like 6'6". This guy's like close to 7 foot tall.
Would you advise governors to give public assurances that federal immigration...
Really, when I just saw this rep ask Christian Nome, and she would advise the governor to assure the public that federal immigration enforcement won't occur in their state?
enforcement will not take place in their state?
Would I advise to governors that they not?
That they give public assurances that immigration enforcement will not occur in their states.
No, I prefer that governors partner with us to make their states safer. I believe that the relationships that we have on the ground in many states is absolutely critical to make
sure. So the answer is no. You would not advise them to tell their constituents, no, there will not be any enforcement in this state. Would you have publicly told immigrants, as governor in your state, not to worry about deportations because your state wasn't a border state like Texas or California?
I felt as though my state was a border state because we were every day impacted by the drug trafficking and the human trafficking that was coming over the border and had put a foothold in the state of South Dakota. Every state was dramatically impacted.
Okay, so you would not have told immigrants in your state, don't worry about deportation. You would not have said that.
The laws need to apply equally to everybody. That's what is so discouraging about the previous administration is they picked winners.
Okay,
and losers.
so that's the question has been answered. That's fine.
who it didn't.
You
That
would
doesn't
not
happen
you would not say that. You
Now
would
the
not
law-
you
now
would
the
tell your
laws-
constituents immigration laws will be enforced in this state whether or not we are a border state like California or Texas.
Laws will be enforced, absolutely.
In January, the governor of Puerto Rico made an opposite claim. She told immigrants not to worry about deportations because we're not Texas or California. Days later, ICE conducted enforcement operations in immigrant neighborhoods in San Juan. Was that a responsible thing to say?
I didn't hear her say that and haven't heard this before, but I believe that the partnerships we have with governors is extremely powerful in keeping their communities safe.
That's a no answer. Was she aware, was she briefed by DHS about the immigrant raids that would happen in the swing days?
I have no knowledge to that situation. What I will tell you is that every governor that I know of feels the responsibility of protecting their state, and they should be making the best decisions to secure their communities and their families that live there.
And that includes telling people in their states or jurisdictions the administration's policy is that there will be...
What you need to do is go up there and argue with them. Say, I set an appointment for a certain time. And I don't want to be sitting out here waiting because we set an appointment. That's what an appointment is for.
Raids to detain people who were on...
Got a call from that captain this morning. He said, I can't make him change the ticket. I said, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. I said, why would we get a ticket if we're working on a truck? So I'm going to have to go to court and fight this shit. He said, well, that's what the courts is for. I said, this is a waste of my fucking time is what this is. I said, I had to work for a living. I don't get a government paycheck. You damn dirty leech. That might have been why we had problems.
Undocumented in their jurisdictions, not to tell them...
You welfare recipient.
Don't worry, this will not happen here.
I am not certain as to the situation you're speaking to. I'll get more information so that I can respond to you appropriately.
But
I'm not certain.
hypothetically,
I'm not
as
certain what
governor, would you have told the people of your state the laws will be enforced here as in any other state?
What I would tell my people of South Dakota is that my job is to work for them and to represent them and to be their leader and protect their best interests. That includes making sure that citizens of South Dakota are my number one priority every day.
I understand that, and I thank you for your time. And like I said at the beginning of my turn, I do look forward to work.
Where you come off in here getting elected and you got that kind of accent? That's another thing we need to make a law. No foreigners sit in our Congress or Senate.
Working constructively on ways to reimagine.
We're citizens now, Jay. I don't care.
And FEMA and disaster response, and to make sure that those funds, which today you have told us are not guaranteed.
Got to be at least 3 generations. 3 generations living here before you're able to run.
For the people of Puerto Rico, are guaranteed and delivered on time. Thank you.
Puerto Rico.
You've done a second, and then you look at this.
Trump loved the camels.
As a construction person, I'm seeing perfect marble. This is what they call perfect.
Making his face orange.
And just a great job you've done, and what a beautiful place. And we appreciate those camels. I haven't seen camels like that in a long time. And that was some greeting. We appreciate it very much. And the job you've done is second to none. You look at this, it's so beautiful.
There's another one up there asleep. Another congressman up there asleep.
What are the 5 Grosse Points cities?
I don't know.
What are the 5 Grosse Points cities?
Well, look, I'm not here to answer a quiz. I'm here to say that I'm going to fight for the people of Detroit. I'm going to fight for my constituents and all of the Grosse Points and all of Taylor and every part of the 13th district.
Let me just do this real quick. Grosse Pointe Park, Grosse Pointe Woods, Grosse Pointe Farms, and Grosse Pointe Shores. Okay. You know, on your campaign filings it says occupation. Yours says United States government. Aren't you employed by the people Oh, the United States? Yeah, I am. Okay, fix that one. Okay, and finally, you're getting nailed with this one. The beagles. You abandoned the beagles, left them to die in their cages at your pharmaceutical testing.
See, look, I don't know.
What are the 5 gross points?
Like I said, 3 generations before you can be a congressman or a senator.
Cities.
Well, look, I'm not...
Punjabi! Punjabi! Where does he work at? Down at Quickie Mart. Down there with a poo.
Of the Constitution that covers
DHS Secretary Chris Nolan comes out in legal support of suspending the writ of habeas corpus for illegal aliens, an idea posed by D.C. Drano a couple of weeks ago.
Of the writ of habeas corpus.
Yes.
It says that the writ of habeas corpus shall not be suspended unless, when cases of rebellion or invasion, the public safety
We've been invaded.
may require it. Are you aware of which presidents have suspended the writ of habeas corpus?
Jackson and Lincoln.
I know that President Lincoln did.
Yeah.
I think Jackson did as well.
So Roosevelt and President Grant. You testified under
Grant.
oath, I believe, that the Biden administration allowed an invasion into our country. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So do you think it falls under the constitutional guidelines that I just read to you?
I'm not a constitutional lawyer, but I believe it does.
You've also witnessed that the Democrats here today and also radical activist judges are trying to halt and deny the president's agenda to carry out his constitutional duties to keep Americans safe and carry out his promise to the American people to secure the border and carry out mass deportations of those who have entered the country illegally. Knowing this, are you open and supportive of this constitutional option to suspend the writ of habeas corpus to keep Americans safe and carry out the president's agenda?
Well, this is something that's not in my purview to weigh in on. This is the president's prerogative to pursue, and he has not indicated to me that he will or will not be taking that action.
He should take
I wanna
it.
thank
Get these
Rogan
bitches up
O'Hanley
out of
for
here.
his efforts to
Say his
bring this
name, James
constitutional
Norban,
solution
79,
into
U.S.
the
Army veteran,
conversation.
dragged and killed in
Now I
brutal
wanna
carjacking
shift gears real
while
quick.
cleaning his car in California on Monday. That guy right there looks like he's a dark colored fella. Look, it makes me sick. This is an old video.
Listen, this is what's going on in the park out here. Yes, listen.
Need to put a bullet in his fucking brain.
Can't tell you that.
Freak offs lasted for days, soaked in baby oil and twisted X. She said he forced her into weekly orgies, getting off on watching her with other men. He's a pervert. Peeper! He's a peeper. Like to touch himself while he was watching.
Why'd you move to LA?
Oh, for the kids.
Where did that?
What we've been reporting for years here on this show, that the U.S. government was trafficking children. More than
Adam Lean, hi, what's up?
350,000 children.
Adam,
were
go
sold
over
off
to
and
the
trafficked
YouTube
for
channel or
sex
the Kick
and
channel.
slavery in the United States. Here's our
You go to the YouTube channel, do a thumbs up and leave a comment.
Cabinet meeting today. Watch.
We have ended HHS as the role as the vector, the principal vector in this country for child trafficking.
Child trafficking.
And during the Biden administration, HHS became a collaborator in child trafficking and for sex and
My ears here in a minute. I would. Show it.
and we have ended that, and we're very aggressively going out and trying to find these children, 300,000 children that were lost by the Biden administration.
I mean, what? Okay. HHS responsible for this. We also know the Department of Homeland Security as well. Maybe we'll hear more from that from Kristi Noem when she lets the cat out of that bag. But this is an unbelievable admission that the United States government, his own agency, he's got the documents to show we're helping to traffic hundreds of thousands of children south of the border into the United States, sold off for sex slavery, sex trafficking, and then killed.
It's like Apocalypto, man. It's on the late fee. Yep, look at that gay ass faggot.
RFK Jr.
Immigrants, would you guys be willing to take in a asylum seeker, as you called them, to your home and foster them and take care of them so the government doesn't have to mistreat them?
Well, I think that's a Band-Aid approach, but yes, if we were involved with an organization that needed temporary placement for asylum seekers, that would be something.
Well, my organization is Liberty Hangout, and I have an asylum seeker right here. Are you willing to give him your house keys so he can stay with you?
The reason we can't do it right now is we are literally moving.
We're moving right now. We can't do it. Now, if we wasn't been moving, we could do it.
Would any of you ladies take in a black illegal immigrant that's here with us today that needs a home?
Didn't think you would. You got your big ass juicy titties hanging out there.
No, I thought Black Lives Matter.
They don't matter.
Black Lives Matter.
They don't.
But they won't take in my black illegal immigrant friend Felix from Mexico.
Felix?
I guess they don't matter that much. Would you guys be willing to take in a black illegal immigrant? Would you be willing to take him in and his 10 children?
I would, no, not 10 children, but I'd be willing to discuss it. I certainly would.
Can he have the keys to your house? He'll only take 5 kids. How about he'll only take 5 of his 10 children? Can he come stay with you?
We talk about it. Probably not 5, but I probably have room.
Well, what do we do with the other 5?
Yeah, what we do with the other ones there, Dad? Why don't you kick your kids out?
Ordered by the government to help resettle the Afrikaners, but today the church terminated its relationship with the federal government, citing a moral opposition to resettling the white Afrikaners. Joining us now is the presiding
they
bishop.
won't resettle white Afrikaners. If they'd been dark, they'd been all over that shit.
Episcopal Church Bishop Sean Rowe, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Of course,
I'll take in a white family from Afrikaners. Put them to work down there on the farm. Come on down here, them boys work.
It was a 4 decades old relationship across many administrations.
I'll put them to work down there on the farm. You gonna whip them, Jamie? It depends on how hard they work.
That was ended abruptly today. Why did the classification?
Most times you ain't gotta whip them white ones, because they work.
These immigrants as refugees cross a moral line.
Well, the reality is we can't be ourselves in the Episcopal Church and take the step of resettling white Afrikaners from South Africa. Our church has a long commitment to racial justice and reconciliation, and we have historic ties with the Anglican Church of South Africa. Desmond Tutu is a part of been a partner in this work for us. So we're just not able to take this step. It's not in line with anything that we're about.
Because they're racist. They don't like white folks.
Saddens us to see that other refugees who are being denied entrance to the United States are brave people who worked alongside of our military in Iraq and Afghanistan, now face danger, have been in camps for a long time, and aren't being allowed in. And so this is just...
This guy looks gay to me.
No longer aligns with where we are as a church.
He looks gay to me. She already had them in the bag. Just because he's picking them, she won't put them in the bag. I just saw the media call Trump the true president of the world. Because he is.
Now as we watch.
Jaw-dropping revelation, the EPA administrator Lee Zeldin exposes the Biden administration's secret stash of $20 billion in gold bars. Hidden in banks beyond government oversight, a brazen attempt to dodge public scrutiny. Zeldin declares the funds are now recovered.
This, and he's also digging into
$20 billion worth of gold bars, people. $20 billion. Stewart wouldn't know what to do with that kind of money.
I was raised with it. I know what to do with it.
What do you do with it?
Don't brag.
Don't brag about it.
Stay low profile.
Low profile.
Help the ones you can help. And there's very few.
Yeah. Because most people you can't help. Because they don't want help.
You give them the right of way. You don't actually get them out the hole, but you give them the chance
have a chance.
You give them a ladder
Hey, chance
to
to
get
have-
out of the hole, and then most of them do.
They climb it, they climb. They don't, they don't.
Most of them will tear the ladder down or pull it down with them.
Like me, I'm trying to climb the ladder.
Is that what you're doing? Is that what you call it? Now let's talk about this. We had a welding job come in this morning. Cassie wants me to whip me. Cassie wants me to whip her. I'll whip your ass, Cassie.
I gotta throw a couple of chickens down real quick.
And then put some baby oil on your butthole.
Dude, you're gonna get in trouble. They're gonna kill you again.
She likes that.
No, the fucking YouTube people are gonna shut you
You
down.
can't put I can't say put butthole, baby oil on the butthole.
No, that's insinuating you're trying to do some damage.
She likes that sort of thing. She's a freak. She's a girl. She's a girl.
Okay.
She's a freak.
Okay.
She likes that sort of thing. I'm telling you.
All right.
She tries to tempt me with tacos.
Uh-oh.
And I said, "Now, you just can't be buying my love like that with no tacos.
It's gotta be a hamburger. It's gotta be the Swiss kind.
Yeah, that'd be a cheeseburger.
From over yonder.
Yeah.
That place.
Yeah.
We rode back the other day.
Who?
Me and Jody.
What place?
When we went to go get the part, there was that place you like to go to.
Which one?
The one y'all you sent me out there one time. $20 Swiss mushroom burgers.
You talking about down at Spondivis?
Yeah.
Spondivis, boy, they got the good ones.
Yeah, that's it. So I said, hey.
I'll take some Cheetos.
I said,
Danielle's gonna give me Cheetos.
Look,
that's
a cheat
Danielle's
date. That's a cheat date.
Danielle's a freak too. I got a bunch of freaks on here on this show. I don't know where they come from.
Don't say yourself out for a taco.
You can't buy my love with a taco. I told you.
It's gotta be a spin.
Now I'm gonna eat the taco.
Right.
But and then I'm still gonna do what I'm doing.
Yeah, we're not.
Yay, how's that going so far?
Oh, we're crushing it. We have a great team. Big development yesterday. It was a couple months ago. There was this video that came out of a Biden EPA political appointee talking about how they were tossing gold bars off the Titanic. It says it multiple times in the video, rushing to get billions of dollars out the door before Inauguration Day. Well, members of Congress were really concerned about that. So as I'm going through the confirmation process, they said, if confirmed, will you commit to making this a top priority to find those gold bars? Came in. I was just confirmed a couple weeks ago. We found them. They were at a bank parked just outside of government.
Ain't got here yet for that
$20 billion was sent there, and a little oversight. 8 entities would be receiving all $20 billion, and they would be distributing all of these funds without EPA knowing everything that we need to do our job to provide accountability to Congress, the media, and to the public.
He might just back up in there and hook up to it.
Oh, let me just get chicken real quick.
Bucking them wouldn't even stop it.
They wouldn't?
A boiling point with lies, falsehood, personalities, and everything else Democrats do.
I want to make a clarification here because there's been so many incredibly false and misleading things said today.
Yeah, they would.
Once a deportation order has been issued, the due process is over.
You might be able to have the remote control back if you was to be nice. We might let you have it on Wednesdays. That's today, ain't it? Today's Wednesday. I'll talk to him. See if I can get you the remote control back there, Danielle.
Due process.
Her husband won't let her have the remote control. You know why? Because women ain't supposed to touch a damn thing. That's why. They ain't supposed to touch the remote control of the TV. They supposed to sit over there and watch what Big Daddy wants to watch.
Occurs prior to that where the judge makes a decision with the information often.
But it's the way she said please. It's like please. She's trying to be all sweet. You can't get me like that.
Sometimes the help of NGOs, sometimes in the past funded by the federal.
She'll be listening to the show and I'll go, Danielle! And it puts chill bumps up her back.
Oh shit.
She'll just be listening and I call her name out like that and it runs chill bumps up and down her back. Makes the hair on her legs grow. Sarah used to say that shit. I'd run my hand up her back, her lower back, and it'd like make her back arch. Yeah. She said, "Quit! You're making my hair on my legs grow."
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Federal government. But the judge issues an order, and there's well over 1 million people in this situation that are being deported appropriately. No lawyer.
Ain't a damn enough of them being deported. They should be doing 1 million a day. Round them bitches up and get them out of here.
Is offered at that point, the judge has made a decision. The due process has already occurred. It's really important to make that point. People are not inhuman or violating the law. They're following the law. They're executing an order
So
has been
Angel and Buck's
presented
back,
by
Jody
a
back
judge.
yet?
No, I don't see Angel.
I saw a meme somewhere this week that said a society that makes war on its law enforcement better learn how to make friends with its criminals.
The box truck? Yeah.
You know, I've said this before. The left has this incredible
You wasting a lot of
heart
pain over there, man.
for the criminal.
I come back to it all day.
They defend the criminal.
You don't?
A full-throated defense of criminals over the safety of Americans and the following of the rule of law.
I am freaky. I
We've
get down with the
seen
best of them, girl.
The defense of a congressman.
Daddy just shake his head. He go, man. I said, I can't help it, Daddy. I'm a freak.
Woman who threw a punch at a police officer. I mean, that's unconscionable.
But that was back when I was young. I'm not freaky like that no more. Wink, wink.
You know, if I was a 100% politician, and I'm not, but if I was a 100% politician, I'd be happy with that. Why? Because that's exactly the reason they lost every single swing state in the recent election, the border.
He's got another picture over there he did.
I got a couple chickens. I'm going to do right now.
He's doing chickens on it right now. He's putting biddies down there in the bottom. This is what kind of scene is this?
It's a barnyard scene.
It's a barnyard scene?
Yes, seven.
Barnyard scene is what he's calling it. This painting can be had for $10. $10. $5. I wish I could do that auctioneer shit.
Hey, I need to put a windmill in the background.
You need to put one out there where that Black Hawk helicopter's at. And I've been trying to tell him, I said, man, you need to draw like a reindeer or put some other animals like a seal or a penguin.
Are they looking good?
Yeah, looking good.
Because I still got to put some stuff on them, but I mean,
but that still looks like a Black Hawk helicopter out there. What is that?
Oh, I'm gonna paint over that real quick.
What is that?
It's a north, south, east, or west.
What?
North, south, east, or west. The
weather vane?
Yeah.
Is that supposed to be on the roof?
Yeah, but I'm just gonna put.
Yeah, because it's not on the roof. It looks like it's sitting off in the field.
I'm gonna put on each end. I'm gonna put a little ground like we had in our barn. We had like 6 grounds on top of our barn that would deflect the lightning.
Yeah.
Just put like a little something up top.
Yeah, it looks like a Black Hawk helicopter right out there in the middle. Right. Let's see. Right.
Come on, you both not trying
right
to
there.
fuck it off. And I'm thinking this summit so much it's starting to bow.
It is. Thing weighs about 5 pounds.
I know.
Thing's got 5 pounds of
the defense of criminals and the punching of law enforcement in the face. It's why they lost every single swing state, and Republicans gained in almost every state more votes than we'd ever gotten before. Because the American people recognize who the good guy really is.
Who is it?
And it ain't Tren Agua. Or a guy who was driving 8 young women through my state, and the Biden administration said, do not detain him.
Empty. I gotta get some more yellow in there.
As I've said before, the left doesn't know a good guy from a bad guy. They street violent criminals and they want to defund ICE. That's been their mantra since I've been in this position. It's ridiculous. It's heinous. And yes, if I were a pure politician, I'd say keep going, guys. But what it does is it breaks my heart. I am a combat veteran, and I have a kindred connection to those law enforcement agencies and agents who put their ass on the line, their lives on the line, for our safety.
I'm telling you, they need to bring back duels up there in Congress so they can call them out and take them out back, and they can do a duel.
And we're fussing about whether or not the guy has a mask on to protect his identity when he's an undercover agent. I don't know how many people made an issue out of that. Give me a break. Want to cut a deal with Iran, destabilize the Middle East, punch Saudi Arabia in the face, we get an imbalance in what happens, an invasion of Israel. They don't know a good person from a bad person. That's why the American people said, we don't want them in charge. Again, if I were a pure politician, I'd say, keep going, guys.
Bruce.
But it's a spit in the face to the men who wear that uniform. It's a charade. That's what it is. It's a charade. To say something about law enforcement and turn around and be okay with a U.S. Congresswoman punching a police officer in the
She ought
back.
to be locked up.
Yeah, I thought that shit.
It's infuriating. Madam Secretary, you have done a remarkable job. And what's happening now is the criminals and the cartels have stopped making billions of dollars trafficking human beings into our country. Thank you for that. And the texts and tweets that I've gotten from Border Patrol and the texts and tweets I've gotten from law enforcement all across this country during this hearing support everything I'm saying. Thank you. And I charge you to keep going. Keep doing it. That judge executes that removal order, get him out of here.
Get them out. Tony Lanez's case takes a turn after new evidence revealed Kelsey Harris's bodyguard claimed Kelsey shot at Megan the Stallion. He reportedly stayed silent to protect her until recently.
Not long ago, Unite the People was approached by a gentleman named Bradley James. Mr. James informed us he was working as the bodyguard and driver for Miss Kelsey Harris during Mr. Peterson's trial. As such, he was in close proximity and he had privy to conversations she was having with her husband and others. Mr. James informed us he was not under a non-disclosure agreement or a confidentiality agreement and was free to speak with Unite the People, and that he was doing it because his conscience would not let him not speak and leave a man in prison for something he did not do. Mr. James informed Unite the People that he was witness to the conversation Miss Harris had where she stated she had the gun, she fired it 3 times, Mr. Peterson grabbed her arm and knocked it down, and the gun fired 2 more times. In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody, never even touched that gun. Never fired the gun. This statement aligns with the statement of the only non-party witness to the case, Mr. Sean Kelly, who at trial testified he saw 2 women fighting, 2 men break up the fight, 1 man grabbed the other one's arm. Gunshots came from the passenger side. Passenger side is where Miss Harris was sitting. This further iterates that Mr. Peterson did not shoot Miss Pete, did not shoot at Miss Pete, or did not assault Miss Pete. It's just another irregularity in a list of irregularities in this case. For example,
Gibson,
there
I
were
see
3
your banana.
potential suspects in the car that night, and yet the only DNA sample was taken of Mr. Peterson, even though unknown DNA was found on the gun. Why wasn't Miss Harris's DNA taken? Or was it taken and the information simply never given to the defense? Why wasn't the driver of the car, Mr. Jaquan Smith's DNA taken? Or was it taken and again, simply not given to the defense?
I don't even know what they're talking about. What shooting they're talking about. Or was that the video yesterday where she was getting out of the car walking backwards? Said she stepped on glass.
We have long had a special working with you, and I want to thank Mohammed. I want to thank you, Crown Prince. We have a special relationship. We have long had a special relationship, but it was an honor to spend.
Because Trump saved him over there in Vegas when they had that mass shooting out there where they were trying to kill the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia.
And a couple of
and they said it was what's his name up there shooting into the crowd. Bullshit.
Days with you, and I'll see you again soon, and I'll see you a lot. Thank you all very much. Thank you. I look forward to working with you, and I want to thank Mohammed.
That's the dimples on the butt right there. Does anyone know why women have these 2 holes in their back? What are they for? They're just there for aesthetic purposes. You see that? Them 2 dimples right there? That's where your thumbs go when you got a hold of them hips. What are you talking? You can't say that, Jamie. You're going to get in trouble. Tell me that. Tell me I'm going to get in trouble for that. The girl's got dimples on her backside where your thumbs go in and you got a hold of her hips. That way you can control her. Let's see what they write on this. Dignify you managed to make it that response. Place thumbs there. Yep, thumbs. Thumbs go in them places.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, one of my constituents, her name's Natalie Phelps. She's a mom of 2 from Bainbridge Island in Washington State. She has been fighting aggressive stage 4 colorectal cancer for nearly 5 years now. Her best hope now is a clinical trial she's participating in at the NIH Clinical Center. She flew out to NIH a few weeks ago for her first appointment, and her care team there wanted her to come back in 4 weeks to start treatment. But because of the thoughtless mass firing of thousands of critical employees across NIH and HHS that you carried out, Natalie's doctors at that clinical center have told her they have no choice but to delay her treatment by an additional 4 weeks. Now, an extra 4 weeks may not sound like a long time, but I will tell you, for stage 4 cancer patients like Natalie, this could mean the difference between life and death. Secretary Kennedy, how many staff have been cut from the NIH's clinical center? I want a specific number.
4.
I can't tell you that now, Senator Murray. What I can tell you is that if you contact my office tomorrow, I'll look specifically into that.
Well, that is not acceptable. I want an answer back by that. She deserves it. I do it. She doesn't have much time. She deserves an answer back.
And wouldn't you rather get her into that clinical trial as fast as you can?
Absolutely.
All right, so if you contact my office tomorrow, this is if that happened.
You are here to defend your budget. I'm here to ask you questions about the impact
He's
of it.
telling you he'll get her in the damn trial, you dumbass bitch.
Well, you asked me about a specific case that I want to help with. So I don't think anybody.
But there are.
I don't think that should happen to anybody.
Okay. Well, what have you, and I mean you personally, done to assess how those staff cuts are impacting patient care? She is one of many. What have you done to assess that?
I provided the guidelines that said we shouldn't, that no clinical trials should be affected by the cuts. I have, only.
Mr. Secretary, I just have a short amount of time. They are impacting clinical trials.
You asked me a question. Do you want me to answer it?
I want to tell you, you need to know this. You're here to defend the NIH budget, which.
Senator, do you want me to answer your question?
Well, I want to.
You want me to answer your question, Senator?
Tell you that Natalie is sitting there waiting for treatment.
I'm offering to help her, but you don't care.
Mr.
You don't care about Natalie. I've offered to help Natalie.
I am asking you a question, and it is critical. You are here to defend cutting NIH by half. Do you genuinely believe that that won't result in more stories like Natalie's?
I think the cuts that are now proposed by NIH are going to hurt. I think that President Trump, listen, there's no agency head in the government like myself that wants to see their budget cut.
And I asked you, have you personally assessed what this is doing to patients? And I am telling you one story of one person. It is impacting life or death situation. I think it's.
You want me to answer your question, Senator?
Well, you did.
Oh, I am not. You have not allowed me to answer it.
Well, I will just say that it is my job to be a voice for people like Natalie and countless other patients who are like her. So you've got to fix this. I want to know, and I want a personal update on Natalie's case. Chapman. And you offered that. Please give that to me in the next 24 hours. And I expect details and transparency about the state of NIH clinical care.
You contact my office, Senator.
I think you could
do
contact
everything
my
in my
office.
power to try to get Natalie into that.
I got 1 minute left, and I want to ask you about the NIOSH cuts. I am really alarmed by your decision to essentially eliminate the National Institutes for Occupational Safety and Health. You've already fired nearly 90% of the staff that That includes the staff in my state at the Spokane Research Lab. Those are experts. They do essential work to protect miners and firefighters and farm workers, people who work in dangerous conditions. I am told that after backlash, you are reinstating some of those, mainly in the West Virginia office, but
they're over there on the Kick side, William. They're over on the Kick channel. There's 4 over on the YouTube channel. The rest of them are on the Kick channel. Dang. Well, there's only, it's saying 2 now. There was 11 in there earlier, they said. I don't know. I don't know where everybody's at. They ain't paying no attention.
there doesn't...
Jamie, what do you do this for? Try to inform people. Just try to inform people.
Nobody in the Western United States. And there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to how you've made these decisions. And how do you explain this to my constituents in Spokane who are out of a job and the workers that are being impacted by that?
The work at NIOSH will not be interrupted. I brought back 328 workers, mainly in the Cleveland office and the Morgantown office and for the World Trade Center site. And that work will continue. The work on mine safety will continue. The epicenter of that work has been Cleveland and it's been Morgantown. We understand it's a critically important function, and I did not want to see it end.
Mr. Chairman, I would just say you can't fire 90% of the people and assume the work gets done.
Senator Collins.
You can.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, that's nasty. Oh, that's what you come watch this. This you got to
redo my trees.
Oh, them look good. You can do like a wintertime scene. What? You didn't see the part where the guy like opened his mouth and dropped something in his mouth like he was up under getting it.
Help and build the economy to employ their neighbors and people in their community. We want to allow.
You don't want that guy's humor, man.
I don't like the gross shit like Dr. Pimple. I can't do nothing.
You don't like pimples?
Fuck no.
Oh, I like the pimple popping.
The ability to do that without getting in their way. And so that's what the Republican Party stands for. Less government, lower taxes, so we can allow the free market to flourish. And I think that's what we're going to achieve in this bill.
President Trump says no tax on Social Security. Is that going to end up in the bill? No tax on Social Security?
Yes, we're checking all the boxes. He promised no taxes on overtime, no taxes on Social Security, no taxes on, for example, interest on car loans that are made in America. A number of those things are woven into this bill, and we've made all the math work so we can do that. Job creators and entrepreneurs and risk takers are the ones that are...
Residents were limited to a handful of apartment complexes, and the mayor said our dedicated police officers have acted on those concerns. A handful of problems.
See the video of your resist?
Only, Martha, do you hear yourself? Only a handful of apartment complexes in America were taken over by Venezuelan gangs, and Donald Trump is the problem and not Kamala Harris's open border. Americans are so fed up with what's going on, and they have every right to be. And I really find this exchange, Martha, sort of interesting because you seem to be more focused with nitpicking everything that Donald Trump has said rather than acknowledging that apartment complexes in the United States of America are being taken over by violent gangs. I worry so much more about that problem than anything else here.
This was back in before the election. I can clearly see the Earth's curvature. Am I alert now? Where's the curve at?
you are not a conspiracy theorist by now, it's because
you are not intelligent.
Let me tell you, if you are not a conspiracy...
True. Not under the spell of the hoax, you say, wait a second, lots of people were waved into the Capitol, and maybe you could charge them with trespass, but you can't throw them in jail for 3 years, 4 years, 3.5 years, right? Because of, and then the Supreme Court, bipartisan Supreme Court, throws out the charge that was used. It's called the 1512 charge. When I got in my office as U.S. Attorney, I said, first week, we're going to look at the 1512. Who charged it? And of course, it was charged by Merrick Garland and Lisa Monaco right across. It wasn't the guy in my chair. He was an empty suit there to just carry water as they went in.
Right, DOJ directly.
All the way
Attorney
up,
General.
right up. Of course. I mean, look, 1512 is an Andrew Weissman creation, right? This was Andrew Weissman advocated for 1512 charge.
Who's Andrew Weissman?
In the Mueller investigation and the Mueller investigation. Andrew Weissman's one of these lawyers who is at NYU right now. He goes in and out of government, and he's basically at the center. There's about 6 or 7 of these people that are at the center of coordinating the weaponization of government against the people right now. And
yes.
Every time you turn around, I'll give it to you. The guy that was the prosecutor in Kosovo before Jack Smith, a special prosecutor, I forget his name right now. He left so Jack Smith could come in. Where'd he go? One guess, NYU, to Andrew Weissman's shop.
Perfect.
So when you watch Andrew Weissman's at Mueller,
Chapman.
He says in Mueller, we need 1512. We can charge Trump in the watch this. We can use 1512. We're making it up, but we can get away with it if we build it out this way and just get everybody to go along. He fails at that, Mueller. Barr says, and Jeff Jensen, Barr says you can't do that, right? We're not going to do that. Shuts it down. And then along comes Andrew Weissman, Lisa Monaco, all these same people. They say charge the 1512. Tucker, the 1512 charge, right? Your viewers may not track it well enough, but 1512 was an addition to the law about 20 years ago after Enron, because Arthur Andersen, the accounting firm, was destroying documents. Enron was the target of the investigation. Arthur Andersen was destroying documents, wasn't the target. And there was no law to say, if you knew there was an investigation, you shouldn't destroy documents. So they passed this law, okay, 1512. It said, if you know there's an official proceeding, you're not allowed to destroy documents, okay?
Right,
you got
fair.
it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. All these years later, Weissman is saying we'll use obstruction of official proceeding. We'll expand official proceeding. We'll call it we'll call it the Electoral College count, and we'll go after everybody. But first, before we go for Trump, let's drag a couple of hundred people into jail. We'll make them plead guilty. We'll try them with a bad jury. We'll make the judges roll along, and we'll make sure we put them in one after another. We'll say, see, 1512, it's a good charge. Judges went for it. Everybody went for it. And then we'll get Trump. And one judge said no. Then it went up to the Supreme Court, and the bipartisan Supreme Court said hell no and threw it all out. So we watched American citizens rotting in jail for years for walking through the Capitol in 1512.
Bitch, that's my rights. I can call you a bitch. I'm not grading you. Bitch, I'm
You're
smart.
sad. I
So
feel
what?
bad
You're
for some
sad.
people really
Bitch, I
can't
got
afford
money.
it.
Bitch, I
Then
got money.
stop asking
Bitch,
people for
bitch,
some.
I'm not asking. I'm not asking. She asked, not me. Bitch,
Yeah, then
she
stop
is
making
she
her
did.
do your dirty
So
work.
what? Bitch, she asked. She didn't rob nobody. You gave. You gave.
I
You
know,
stupid.
'cause
Shut
I
the
felt
fuck
bad
up.
for
I feel bad
her.
for you. You're broke. We're not broke. Get the fuck on.
You feel bad
And
for me.
really
I make
record me,
honest
bitch. I can call
money.
the
I
police.
don't do it off
I
of
can call
people
the police
feeling
for you
bad for
recording
me.
bro.
I
I
make
give you
money.
permission to record me. This is not a crime. You can't record somebody without
It's
their
sad
permission.
so that people know
No,
that
shut
they're
the
giving her
fuck up.
last dollars.
Bitch,
And
we
you
got
have
money.
sad.
What is sad?
I know, so
What is
stop
sad?
asking people
Bitch,
for their
you're
last
dumb.
dollar.
You gave her $6. She said gas, bitch. She asked for no money.
Yeah,
Make
but
it
you're
make
asking
sense.
people for
No,
their last
this bitch
dollars,
tell this bitch to
and
go.
you're in a
Tell her to
Mercedes,
go.
and you're asking people for their last bucks. You're sad. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. Because I felt bad for her.
Yeah,
Because I felt bad for her.
people are getting tired of it. It's coming to a boiling point. Coming to a boiling point.
I'm tired of this shit.
Tired of their bullshit.
6 transplants, and then y'all just came out with a dozen.
Yeah,
You said we had 6 transplants. You said we had 6 transplants. And then y'all just came out with a dozen for a Caucasian family.
For giving y'all facts, right?
You gave us 6 transplants. What
Giving y'all facts, right?
What time is it?
Ask anybody else if they got 6 extra large facts. Just ask anybody else if they got.
We've been here since 2:30. He told us they had 6 transplants. Another family just came in and they just gave them a dozen of crabs. Are we wrong?
Listen.
Are we wrong? They told us they had 6 travelers.
Hey, you feel?
And he said they the highest crash.
I'm gonna call the police, and then we can all like
Call them. Please do. We're going to pay, but we're making a big deal because y'all fucking racist. If you ask me,
Yeah,
you
racist.
just
Everybody's
told us
racist.
they had 6 crash.
I'm a
And then y'all came out
racist,
with 12 for
transphobic,
another-
Nazi.
No, what's disrespectful is we been here since 2:30, and you said we had. We gonna pay. We gonna pay.
That's it.
We gonna pay.
Thank you, ma'am.
You have a good day.
Stop arguing with your dumb ass.
And the media is barely talking about it. Well,
No downgrade from Elon Musk. He may move more hawkers than Elon Musk and will be a fine asset to Dodge.
Eyes were on Elon Musk running the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. Behind the scenes, a critical transition was underway. And now we know who's taking over, and let's just say Democrats are in full-blown panic mode. But before we reveal the name that's already sending shockwaves through DC, do us a favor, like, share, and subscribe to Explain America. It helps us fight back against big tech and corporate media, and lets us get common sense journalism out to the American people. Now, here is the thing that is really ruffling feathers in Washington, D.C. President Trump has tapped Russell Vought, his top budget official and director of the Office of Management and Budget, to step in and take over DOGE as Elon Musk shifts into a support role. Now, Musk has helped jumpstart the agency's mission, cutting bureaucracy, slashing waste, and bringing private sector efficiency into the federal swamp. Now, Vought is taking it further. This move is huge. Why? Because Vought isn't just a numbers guy. He's not some geeky green eye shade guy who just crunches numbers. No, he's the architect of Project 2025. That's the policy blueprint for Trump's second term, and it outlines exactly how to rip the roots out of the administrative state. This is a man with a plan, and now he's in a position to execute it. Under Vought, DOGE is expected to go to war with bloated federal agencies. He's looking to reclaim nearly $10 billion in taxpayer funds, pulling money from the State Department, USAID, NPR, PBS, and other wasteful agencies that should not be subsidized by the federal government. He's also taking aim at the thousands of entrenched bureaucrats who have obstructed Trump's agenda in the past. That's where Schedule F comes in, a long show.
Budget I'm presenting today supports these goals and reflects.
The witness will suspend. The committee will come to order. Capitol Police are asked to remove the individuals from the hearing room. Members of the audience.
Where you at?
From
48 minutes. Jody, that job wasn't 48 minutes away from here. Jody, let's go, Jody.
Are reminded disruptions will not be tolerated. Members of the audience are reminded disruptions will not be permitted while the committee conducts its business. Capitol Police are asked to remove the individuals from the hearing room.
Or with less. The budget I'm presenting today supports these goals and reflects.
What's going to happen in the future? I'm saying to you, we have not called for the killing of white people, at least for now. I can't guarantee the future.
Justin Bieber eating pizza.
14-year-old smirks in court, says, I'll be going.
You get it?
Hey, shh, stop flirting. Stop flirting.
Oh, buddy.
Take this kid to Hooters. Hey, Hooters going bankrupt.
Yes, ma'am. Did you see that? Yes, he is perfect. They know I'm on tonight. My hips don't lie, and I'm starting to feel it's right.
It's got me mesmerized. Understand, you don't do research. You don't research because you're being distracted. You're being distracted because that is how they control you. They did not want to expose this.
Every letter was assigned a number, so every word had a number.
What's up? What's wrong with it?
Nothing. I just had to take a break.
The stimulus bill under the Obama era, and then you had 1.2 trillion in the last Congress, and so that's $2 trillion over 10 years. And sometimes you look around the country and go, where did $2 trillion go? Where is all the infrastructure? Why don't we have more? And I think it does. A lot of this money gets eaten up in again the permitting and the consultants, and I want to see more of the money go, to turn dirt. That's what we have to focus on. And if we do that, I think there should be money for all of our projects. But if it gets eaten up just by the consultant class, all of us lose. All of our communities lose because you don't have the resources to build your bridge that can't take a busload of kids. In 2000.
Internet not working.
The same reason you're not working.
She turned off the
Did
internet
you
on.
turn off the internet?
No.
Maybe.
Turn it back
Maybe.
on now.
No.
Turn back on the freaking internet.
He was playing Call of Duty, Mom.
Oh.
Mom!
No.
You better turn back on that freaking internet right now.
Oh, you better get in there and lock the door there, Mom.
Locking the door.
Yeah, because that's something that's going bad shit crazy. We done watched this.
Open up!
He's going bad shit crazy.
I was just about to start a new game.
He was going to start a new game.
Oh, I'm sure.
You already embarrassed the crap out of me. Now you're going to pull me away from Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
Open this damn door.
Oh, you said a no-no word.
Not a no-no word.
I'm an adult. I
Yeah.
can say what I want. Let me in this house. Let me in.
Break down the door, Mom.
Look at her.
Here's William.
Here's William.
You just stood at my door. You're gonna fix that. William.
Somebody's got an axe. This has got to be a fake shit.
William.
How many people have an axe sitting right outside their room?
I told you to turn it back on.
Oh my gosh.
I told you so.
That's why you got to get them solid doors. Them old panel doors ain't worth for shit at keeping people out of your bedroom. She took two of them out.
Under President Biden. He didn't tout it that often, but Secretary
Well,
Burgum...
he did because of the permitting that happened under President Trump. I mean, all-time record oil production under Biden was because of Trump. It was in spite of Biden. I was running a state that was a natural resources state, and we were fighting the federal government. The federal government wasn't even holding the legally required lease sales during the Biden administration. First president since Harry Truman was Biden that didn't hold those lease sales. So for them to take credit, that was all because...
Well, they didn't take credit because it wasn't very popular with their their voters.
Well,
Secretary Berger.
affordable electricity is popular with everyone, and America needs to make sure we don't lose the thing. I mean, take a look what's happening in Europe right now with this 60 million people in a brownout blackout. We came very close to that happening in America because the Biden administration policy so dangerously eroded baseload in favor of having unreliable intermittent sources. And so we're just fortunate that we're not where Europe is right now, and we don't want to go there. Germany spent $500 billion to go chase a green path, and they ended up with electricity that costs 3 times as much, and they're producing 20% less.
There are $235 billion in tax breaks for the top 0.2%. Do you think that makes sense when that same bill would throw 13 million people off of Medicaid? Should we give tax breaks to billionaires and throw kids and others off of Medicaid?
You're conflating the congressional bills with the proposals from the president. The president
No, I'm talking
is
about
not
the
making
congressional
this-
bill. I'm talking about the bill, the reconciliation bill.
I mean, the president is not trying to do tax cuts for billionaires. He's trying to have no tax on tips and no tax for
$235 billion by
how many people? How many billionaires do you know that are making overtime or making any part of the
$235 billion. Look, it's a big bill. There are a lot of provisions in it, but you cannot deny the top 0.2% will get $235 billion in tax breaks while we cut Medicaid.
Yeah, how many billionaires you know getting tips, Bernie?
You are the job! Hey, shut your mouth! Don't shout! I fuck you right
now! Fuck you, bloody! That's what I don't know what that means.
Motherfucker! You don't know me! Don't motherfucker try to be smart ass! I fuck you right here! Motherfucker! How much you pay? $50? You motherfucker you are! You are respect yourself! You are fucking asshole! Fuck you!
I'll fuck you, bloody!
You are the job!
Can we talk to you for a second?
Body cam footage shows Illinois man arrested after bringing a loaded gun on a plane.
Right, where's your backpack? Where's your backpack? Oh, right here. Just go. Stay there for a second.
How do you get through security with that? Think y'all got enough cops in there? Y'all ain't got no other crime going on in the city?
Do you have a suit jacket, sir? Yes, I do. Okay. Well, we'll come on here one time. I'm sorry. Where's it?
How do you get through security with a damn gun?
No. This your bag? Correct. He said, yeah, go airside. Yeah, go airside.
All right, listen, just want to let you know you're on body camera right now, okay? You're being recorded. All right, this is just protocol. We have to read your rights right now because you're under arrest, okay? And we're going to have some questions for you. Okay? So I just want to let you know, before we ask any questions, as our duty advisor, you have your rights, you have the right to remain silent. You know that, right? Anything you say can and may be used against you in the court or other proceedings. Do you understand that you have a right to talk to a lawyer before we ask you questions and to have him present during questioning? Okay? If you cannot afford one or otherwise obtain a lawyer and you want one, a lawyer will be appointed for you and we will not ask you any questions until he or she is appointed. If you decide to answer any questions now with or without a lawyer, you still have the right to stop questioning at any time or to stop the questioning for the purpose for consulting a lawyer. You understand those rights? Okay.
How do you get through security?
In tonight's Last Minute, a note on Bill Owens, who until this past week was executive producer of 60 Minutes. He was our boss. Bill was with CBS News nearly 40 years, 26 years at 60 Minutes. He covered the world, covered combat, the White House. His was a quest to open minds, not close them. If you've ever worked hard for a boss because you admired him, then you understand what we've enjoyed here. Bill resigned Tuesday. It was hard on him and hard on us, but he did it for us and you. Stories we pursued for 57 years are often controversial. Lately, the Israel-Gaza war and the Trump administration. Bill made sure they were accurate and fair. He was tough that way. But our parent company, Paramount, is trying to complete a merger. The Trump administration must approve it. Paramount began to supervise our content in new ways. None of our stories has been blocked, but Bill felt he lost the independence that honest journalism requires. No one here is happy about it, but in resigning, Bill proved one thing. He was the right person to lead 60 Minutes all along.
You know, this is 60 Minutes, and we can't put on things we can't verify.
You won't put it on because it's bad for Biden.
We can't
Look,
put on things we can't verify.
Leslie.
You know what you told me a long time ago when I asked why you keep saying fake?
What's up, man? No, on that box truck? No. Who told you 4 or 5 hours on that? Yeah, that's replacing all them U-bolts on that box and then that front corner. Let me go check with him right quick. Hold on. Hold on, I'll call you right back, all right? All right. 4 hours. 3 to 4 hours. Bullshit. Y'all can watch the next show. Anchor Baby. I'll be right back.
Domestic violence. Honestly, domestic violence laws, and I don't know the exact details how it's written and all that, so forgive any ignorant statement, but they should change so that women that stay with the man and return to this individual that's abusing them, even physically, etc., they should get like no protection from I don't know, from cops or the law. Like a cop should be able to see a situation, arrive to a call, and be like, oh, Cassie, this is 10 years in. Oh, all right, boys, pack it up. We can leave here. There's no crime here. This is mutual combat. You know, the culture or the laws or something should change in that way. You know, where there's no the cops can arrive to unless that's like a crime, right? Like you could say this person physically assaulted this person here in this case. Okay, that's wrong. But this is like, well, I don't know. The details here get murky, right? There's video of him hurting her and all that, right? So that's why they're saying he's guilty of domestic violence. But out of all this other stuff, sex trafficking and all that he's being targeted for his sexual preferences. But what else about that? What else do they have saved here? You know, I do want to be careful in a sense, because it seems to me like every now I've mentioned the culture and how in many ways the following men you see, R. Kelly, Cosby, and Diddy now, in many ways I think the mere culture has railroaded them in some ways, okay? That being said, it seems to me like for some black people, it's like every guy, every man, every black male accused of something, it's like a FBI conspiracy, you know? So I just want to be careful there. Like, yeah, maybe some weird stuff happened. I just don't know. I'm talking about the culture. But I swear, every time it's like, you'll get somebody saying it's a deep conspiracy to take down the black man.
He's in jail because he didn't want to sell his masters to a certain music company. If he's wrong, he should do the time. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying he's only there.
And it's never quite clear, but obviously maybe I'm just ignorant, okay? Maybe you guys are hearing this man and thinking, yeah, no, he gets it. He knows about the music industry, and I don't know. I swear it's always some conspiracy, like the FBI. It's like, no, it's the culture, and people are weak to women, and they've made women gods, literal gods that you can't criticize. And it's crazy.
Because he broke the rules. Bill Cosby went to jail, not for molesting white women, but him and his wife didn't want to let the second largest oil company in the world drill under their home for
Maybe that's true. Maybe that's like totally true or something, but
oil. These people are not going to jail for sex crimes. They're going to jail for standing their ground. Puffy might be guilty.
So anyway, so you got to understand the vibes here. Like, let me be quite careful and just kind of maybe, anyways. But what else about these articles? You know, they reveal fascinating things in these articles and just little lines that I just want to point out that describe the world we live in. Let's see, was it this one? Cassie revealed? No, that's the same one. But you hear that? Yeah. Cosby, it was the oil. Anybody know about that? Is that just made up? Am I the ridiculous person for laughing? It was the oil. It was the oil companies. So was it this one? Cassie, let's see here. Daily Mail, another article here. In humiliating detail, no, we read that. Here it is, the text messages and stuff. In humiliating detail, she recounted a turbulent 10-year relationship where she had a phone, 10 years. She said she was consumed by violence and his obsession with a form of voyeurism, blah, 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 right? The 10 bottles per session, blah, blah, blah. So here it is. Diddy became violent over Cassie's romance with Kid Cudi, allegedly. Cassie said Diddy found out she had been... Wait, what? This is not... Oh, this article, this is why I'm confused. This article is updating itself. Oh. So as you refresh this, whoever is updating this article is adding new details and new stuff as this trial and all that is going, I imagine. Because this is the part I read, I think, right here. No, man, now they put it behind a paywall? This is like an evolving article, folks. So, understand my confusion here. There was an interesting part about her texts and her claims. So, okay. Freak offs this, freak off that. Let me see, was it how about this one? Look. How about the description here on the Skim about it? Just take this in. The ladies at the Skim, their front page story is the Diddy trial, right? And they're saying in Cassie tells the story Diddy tried to bury. And you just read some of this, right? Cassie Ventura took the stand Tuesday at Sean Diddy Combs' federal sex trafficking trial, describing her life with the music mogul as one shaped by control, fear, and violence. Ventura said Combs beat her more times than she could count, dictated her appearance, and filmed sex acts to use as blackmail. She testified that Combs ordered her to find male escorts for freak-offs. Was it this one? Prosecutors are using her testimony to establish coercion rather than consent. I just didn't feel like I had much of a choice. Combs pleaded not guilty. Anyways. You know, when I initially read it, I guess I must have was thinking more about it when I initially read some of this. There's got to be one more thing here. Hold on. And then we'll get to Super Chats, calls, and all that. 888-775-3773. Because basically, there was one moment, if I remember, they were describing all these texts. And it was supposed to be the way the article described it. It's like, it's such terrible, these horrific things that Diddy texted to Cassie. And then when they got to the actual text, it was basically Cassie saying, oh, I didn't want to kiss that male escort. You know, all this other freak off and all that. I just don't like kissing them, okay? It's like, why'd you make me kiss them? I didn't want to do that. And then mired in like all this other degeneracy. It's like, why'd you make me kiss him? It's like, this is the crusade. And then another part where what was it? Anyways, the article is updated. Let's just move on. You made your bed in some ways, right? If this was for your career, if this was all that, that was the price you paid. You chose that. You, in a sense, chose to pay. You in your mind believed that you could get whatever the things you wanted, the reputation, the career, and all that. And this was the payment. Some part of you knew that. As I speak on this ignorantly, right? So anyways, Diddy, moving on. Honestly, moving on, I think here, it's like a front page on a whole bunch of news sites here. Front page here. Yeah, I think that's it here. Prosecutors argue Combs built a criminal. Anyways. Oh yeah, it was the text about drug use. That's what it was. It was like, oh, and click here to see the terrible, disgusting texts between Diddy and Cassie, and it's basically Cassie and Diddy arguing about wanting to do drugs or not. It's like, no, don't do that drug today. I want you to remember the free call. So anyways, now we'll get into stupid territory, I think. Whatever. Details of nasty stuff. I was going to point out how the world is a little bit, okay? The god that the female has become. But let's move on here. Look, here's another one for you that's got people... Well, you know what's... This one has people going on a witch hunt, in a sense, after these two individuals on the internet, okay? These people, they filmed themselves doing something you just can't do, okay? Even now, even still today. And many of you might even disagree with this, okay? You might disagree. I don't even know exactly what they meant by it, okay? But these two white individuals are being plastered on social media, and they are asking the world to find them. Find them, find their names, find out where they live. In a post that's got 19 million views, this is just one of them, we've got them identified. They're saying Eric Levi over on X. We've identified these people. What is the crime that these people committed? They were... So, to understand how this even happened, how such an event even happened, where these two were filmed committing doing a salute to an old German leader, a German leader from back in history. Okay, they were doing that salute, and they were singing along to a song, a recently released popular song by an individual. Kanye West goes by Ye now, and he's been releasing some, you could call it groundbreaking music, maybe, lately. In fact, so groundbreaking in the, I don't know, in its attempt to offend, in his attempt to use his free speech to his absolute extent. Honestly, on a man using his free speech to the ultimate level, that brings a tear to my eye straight up. But his groundbreaking music includes groundbreaking lyrics such as, if I may, and similar to the N-word, I'm not saying it, I'm simply repeating a song. Heil Hitler is the lyrics of the chorus of this song. You got these two individuals posting themselves, singing along to the tune, rocking the salutes, not holding back. You see this as you're seeing on your screens. As you're seeing on your screens, some were saying cringe. They're like cringe. But, like Lin Yan Chin said, cringing. Does Lin Yan Chin say this? Is cringing not Christian? It's probably not manly. But this broke some people. You know, like I said, in a post that's got, in one particular post that's got 19 million views, a call. And this was after multiple calls to get these people doxxed and find their names and all that. Finally, they are proudly, this one in particular, at least this is just one example, proudly showing their scalp, their proverbial scalps collection, naming, putting out, plastering their full name on social media, saying we found them, where they're from, for their crime of what they did here, okay? And I couldn't help but look at all this. I couldn't help but look at this as a mask-off moment, in a sense. In a way, the world we grew up in reveals itself. The world says love all people, but it's about what's actually enforced and what's actually in effect not allowed, and what is in effect allowed is what it's about. And you gotta wonder, in a world where it seems like everything else is allowed, hail Satan and all sorts of stuff is allowed. It shows the. This must be clear. I'm sure this must be like, call it even low-hanging fruit, but it's the truth. That it's the hypocrisy of this anti-racism world we were taught about and grew up in. It's colorblind. Everyone's colorblind, but it's not. It's not. It's actually just anti-white. I guess I use quotation marks because that's how that world sees it. They're the colonialists. They're the ones who started the wars, the world wars, right? That the ultimate show, the crystallization of white evil, whether wrong or right or whatever you believe, in the world is the Heiling and the Hitler and all that, right? But again, the double standard and hypocrisy shows what all that anti-racism is about. It's against all that, and you know what? That wouldn't even be, how do I put this? So necessarily wrong if it wasn't for the double standard, right? Those people in the year 2025 could very well just be not too unlike your average radical person. Your mainstream normie person is a radical in many ways. Your average normie woman sees the necessity of the female's rise in society. It's like, that's a radical, we can get into that, but so in such a world, these people in 2025 could very likely just be as radical. Jail them, go after them and jail them, then you got to jail all sorts of people, right? Just saying how it is, at the very least. Now, I really don't know anything about them, and I don't care. You guys are cringing at them? Who cares? It's like, even if it is cringe, it's a hand movement, a song, like. Anyways, appreciate that, Ryan Moon. Thanks for the super chat. Thanks for that. It says, great show. All the coffees, all the support. Very generous from you. Someone's. See, these are different ones, right? I think I'm able to see. Hold on. Normally I never check, but someone might just be a default name on Buy Me a Coffee. That might be actually numerous different people. Either way, generous donations. Thank you so much. buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. See, the trick is you got to log in. You got to log into everything. Like, just take my biometrics already. You know what I mean? Just upload my DNA already. You know, connect my biometrics with my online identity already. Plug me in and just don't let me log in anymore. I'm done with logging in. We don't need to log. Just plug me. You know, put the chip in. Like. So yeah, it looks like someone, or maybe different someones, along the way. Shout out to all of you for all your support. Thanks. Yeah. Someone confirmed. Different someones. Anyways. No more logins. Is that too far? Do you guys think I'm overreacting? I will keep my biometrics. Thank you. Oh, okay. You guys think I'm overreacting, huh? Take the mark of the beast. I'm a little bit frustrated with logging in to buy me a coffee today. With that little frustration, I say, bring on the mark of the beast. Overreacting. Prove you're not a bot. I don't know. I don't think I can prove that. Everyone's a bot. Bot responses. Am I an individual? God, will I ever be an individual? So thanks for the support, everybody. Let's hear. Let's move it on here. Wow, we are running through the show fast today. We are definitely running through the show fast today. I gotta mention this concerning some of the South Africa stuff yesterday. For the sake of the clip, the fullness of the clip, allow me to get into this so that when I cut it all up, I can just add it all together and just the clip will be just that much better. You know, on the topic, you know, concerning the racist move by Trump, right? Choosing some refugees over the others. Is he doing it on just skin color? I thought we were against immigration. What's going on? You know, some really don't know. In a large way, that region, South Africa, is seemingly some of the only legitimate refugees of the world, where you have actual.
I don't know what's going to
like just full on. Just like, look, how about this one? End Wokeness post this. EFF leader in South Africa. We have not called for killing off the whites for now.
I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I'm saying to you, we've not called for the killing of white people, at least for now. I can't guarantee the future.
Yeah, but I mean, you'd understand somebody watching that, especially as it gets shared on Twitter, they freak out. It sounds like a genocidal call.
Cry babies. Cry babies.
I'm not calling for the slaughter of white people, at least for now.
I mean, the floor is yours. I'm waiting for him to. Should the guy push a little harder? Hey, that sounds like exactly a genocide. What say you?
I can't give you a guarantee of the future, especially when things are going the way they are.
Subtext.
Especially if things are going the way they are.
Oh yeah, Julius Malema. Somewhat familiar with him. You know, I realize how some people think. You know, how this fools some people, because you're stuck being intellectual about like a small detail, missing. What do they call that? Isn't there an expression for that? Isn't there an expression for that? Missing the forest for the trees, something like that. You know, a chronically intellectual person might hear Julius and think, well, before I make a judgment on what he said, show me some evidence that when he's saying that it will turn, that we're not going to kill white people for now, that he's just not talking about, you know, mutual combat or you know, just like a justified killing of white people. Like you can see how a chronically intellectual person might miss the forest for the trees here. You know, it's just obvious the trend, what's happening. There's no white people oppressing these. It doesn't seem like these South Africans, these black people in I think they even say themselves, right? Don't they admit themselves apartheid is over? These people are running. These people are on the run. These white people are on the run. This is not going to be a justified. But for now, this is just for now. See, he's being a reasonable political leader and considering all his options. Perfectly normal. Right? Perfectly normal. Perfectly normal things to say. Here's another perfectly normal thing to say. The very same ANC, the African National Congress, led by that Cyril Ramaphosa, the very same that recently changed their laws, causing the Trump administration to recognize the plight of the white South Afrikaner, paving the way for their refugee status and their recent arrivals. That very same ANC released a statement. Look at these guys, the gall. You got to take this one in. They released a statement responding to Trump and this whole situation. And you got to really take this one in, because they openly basically say something wild. So here's the Department of Communications, blah, blah, blah. ANC, the African National Congress, this was released on my birthday, no less. Congress rejects the falsehood of Afrikaner refugees. So the very concept of Afrikaner refugees, they reject it. And on the basis of what? They say, the African National Congress registers its firm rejection of the United States government's decision to grant refugee status to 49 individuals self-identifying as Afrikaners. Let it be categorically stated, there are no Afrikaner refugees in South Africa. No section of our society is hounded, persecuted, or subject to ethnic victimization. These claims are fabrication and a cowardly political construct designed to delegitimize our democracy and insult sacrifices made by generations who fought for freedom. You read that so far and you're like, okay, well, I guess maybe they have a point. I gotta hear both sides. Let me tell you that in their very statement here, they reveal themselves. You just gotta pay attention. This year, as we commemorate the 70th anniversary of the Freedom Charter, we recall its enduring truth that South Africa belongs to all who live in it, black and white. What the instigators of this falsehood seek is not safety, but impunity from transformation. They flee not from persecution, but from justice, equality, and accountability for historic privilege. Take that in. Your government starts talking like that, it's time to go. In a sense, and you can understand people wanting to go. That's what they're saying. They're saying, these people, they're lying. There's no refugee. There are no refugees. Everything's fine here, okay? But what is the everything is fine here? They describe it themselves. What the everything is fine here, what's everything fine in South Africa? Just the racial transformation of historic privilege, a radical racial, and anyone leaving this country, by the way, is seeking impunity from this, what they call justice. We don't get to inflict what we call justice on you, and that's why we didn't like you leaving. Isn't that a crazy thing to admit? Isn't that such a hateful, wild thing to admit on the world stage? But obviously it works, and it must be, I don't know what it is. Chronic intellectualism. I don't think it's necessarily, look, it's just a crazy thing to admit, don't you think? They are saying out loud, we did not get to do this to you, to inflict this equality on you. It's like, if they didn't want to be equal, don't you want them out? Aren't you happy they're gone? No, they flee from justice and accountability for historic privilege. But I thought apartheid's done, right? It's over. Nelson Mandela, okay, right? Well, I don't even know. I don't even know the story. So, a mask-off moment there with the ANC. But here's a mask off moment with people here in America. As Jesse Lee Peterson was warning the South Africans, wondering if they knew the fire they were jumping into, out of the frying pan into the fire, if they knew the racial, I don't know, jungle they left to arrive to, concerning, right, how whites are even hated here, right? How South Africa is in America. This one's from End Wokeness. TikTok influencer issues direct threat to the 59 white refugees. Says that black people will be hunting them down. Dear South Africans entering the U.S. Take this one in.
Good morning. This is for the South Africans who are going to be entering the United States. This is just a public service announcement. I just wanted to make you aware that the black people who were students during apartheid, we're grandmas and grandpas now, and we have the era of Gen Z. One more thing, I also want to let you know that our president, he has Secret Service, and you will not. I also want to tell you that black people over here are empowered. These are just public service announcements. When you get here, sit your ass down and don't touch nothing. Because you don't have Secret Service.
What the?
Okay. Now have the day you deserve.
People are angry out there, man. People are angry.
Good morning.
This is. How many views did this even get? Like organically, besides, because whoever posted this got 4 million views, but how many did this actual post get? Where can we find this post? Where can we do? Let's do a little sleuthing.
Good morning.
Good morning. Let's do a little sleuthing. Now, how do we do that? Nope, that's not how you do that. Hold on, I'm a little curious. Nope. Will I find it this way? I don't know. We are oh. Nice. That's not it. I just want to see the original post personally.
We're going to
concerning, just to see the comments maybe a little bit. What kind of traction she got.
Messing with that damn thing.
What if I type in Dear South Africans? This is how we'll do this. This is how we'll
got 3 over here hanging on.
Dear
3
South
hanging on there.
Entering the U.S.
That looks like a Bob Ross painting right there. All right there, fellas. We appreciate y'all hanging by. How many U-bolts need to be done? It wasn't just U-bolts. We got he wants to put a new plate down the side of the damn box. You got to drill all them pot rivets out. I told him 8 to 10 hours.
Yeah. You said to me, I say that
8 to 10 hours.
I need to discredit you.
Today, to answer messages? Okay.
I commend her for still being active and working, but imagine you're trying to make an appointment and you call your doctor.
That right there is why she's big like that. Look what she's drinking.
Doctor's office, and all you hear on the other line is just like, ma'am, do you need to schedule an appointment first?
Now, I'm the receptionist at a doctor's office.
Say, wait. They know what you are doing. Wait. They know what you are doing.
Of a third grader at Las Estrellas Elementary. Miss Director, I had emailed you. I had emailed the principal, the assistant principal, and the school social worker. My son, 2 weeks ago, was exposed to a group of, let's say, gay men having sex on the iPad. And how my son came about it was he forgot his laptop at home, and your teacher lent my son his personal iPad. Well, when my son was doing a project with some of the other kids in the classroom, all of a sudden they closed out a tab. There was a bunch of naked men sitting right there in front of my son. And then all the other kids that had seen this, hey, they were shocked. But what's crazy is that I haven't heard nothing since. I didn't get a response from our superintendent. I had a meeting with your guys' assistant superintendent, your guys' assistant principal, but nobody had the decency to make my son important enough to show up to that meeting in the morning to tell me why he was able to be exposed to this type of material. Now, I've heard about the situation that happened at your guys' high school, at North High School, with the teacher that was involved with sexually explicit material as well. To me, I don't care what team you bat for, but you guys got to quit putting all this stuff in front of these kids, all this sexual material, regardless if it's a flag or if it's them actually seeing the content on an electronic device that is in school. Now, I came to you guys last time arguing about security factors with the students about how they were roaming around. Now, dude, you guys literally had, I was told that you guys weren't going to inform the other parents in this classroom. Like, you guys will tell us if a student gets lice, if a student gets COVID, if he gets the flu, but you guys will not tell all the parents in the classroom that their kids were exposed to sexual explicit material. And I think that's weird. It's weird. Because how can you send out a text message about all these other things, but you can't tell parents that their kids were exposed to this? Now, my son, one of
Well, I think it's great he got a gift.
Finish your comment.
But it was a gift to America, not just Trump.
Was the only one
Moron.
to speak up about this and the only one to make it known. So now I ask y'all.
In terms of some of the exemptions, pregnancy is covered, correct?
May I interrupt? I'm glad you're addressing us instead of speaking to the camera.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Pregnancy is covered, correct? As an exemption? I have a question. Given the Dobbs decision and the fact that many women in many states are forced to be
All right,
carrying...
I'm gonna have to stop. I'm gonna reclaim my
Okay,
my-
what about
my
miscarriage?
Time. Thank you.
What about miscarriage?
I'm reclaiming my time. Thank you. I just want to make the point that we'd like for you to address the Republicans and let's have a dialogue
Okay.
this way and not to a camera. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
But
The gentleman yields,
you're-
the gentleman yields back.
But I'm asking the question, what about a miscarriage?
The gentleman
I'm
yields
trying to
back.
engage in the way that the gentleman...
The lady is
requested.
out of order. The gentleman yields back.
Oh, so we don't want to answer for women having miscarriages and bleeding out in parking
who
lots.
looks
Okay.
to be recognized.
Speaking of where we are addressing and who we are addressing, there are 13.7 million Americans on the other side of that screen right there. Hello?
What's up, jackass?
Hello. I'm talking to you because I work for you.
No, you don't.
And they deserve to see what is happening here. Because there are plenty of districts, including Republican ones, where 25% of your constituents are on Medicaid. 40% of your constituents are on Medicaid. And yes, I am
Will the gentlelady yield?
I am talking to them, and I will not yield because it was a terribly disrespectful comment.
Yeah.
And I will not yield to disrespectful men. Thank you very much.
You yield back?
We'll yield back to the gentlelady.
Yes, I yield to the doctor from
Let's go, Jody.
California.
She was drug beat, urinated on in her mouth to the point of choking by Diddy. Sex worker forced to engage in degrading, humiliating sex orders at a time. Jennifer Lopez. Jody. Non-citizen truck driver.
In case you guys have been living under the rock, let me catch people up, okay, about this. Okay, we had this driver hauling for a carrier, which we covered, okay, hauling an Amazon, going up 75 into Chattanooga, where the split is, with 24, there was stop traffic and he plowed right into people. It was a fatality accident. 2 people lost their lives, multiple more injured, including kids. And let me just say again, I've said this plenty of times, I'm going to say it again.
Driving for 15 hours, 4 hours over the limit.
what ends up happening is less people get the vaccine. That may be what you want, but do you understand that the result of constantly questioning the efficacy or safety of the vaccine results in less people getting the vaccine? So I don't necessarily want to spend the remaining 20 seconds in an argument over the science, but do you at least understand that that's the consequence of what you're saying? And are you actually still recommending people get the vaccine, or are you not?
Senator, if
Yeah. You'd have to bring. Yeah, you'd have to bring it over here and let us look at it. Them roll-up doors are a pain in the ass, man. I'm telling you, they're a pain in the ass putting them cables and shit on them. Yeah. You got to bring it by over here and we look at it and give you an estimate on it. All right. Hey, you know where we at? Yeah. All right.
if I advised you to swim in a lake that I knew there to be alligators in, wouldn't you want me to tell you there were alligators in it?
So are you recommending the measles vaccine or not?
No.
What I've said and what I said,
It doesn't sound like you are.
Are you going to let me answer? Are you going to keep that?
Are you not?
Are you going to let me answer? What I pledged for this committee during my confirmation is that I would tell the truth, that I would have radical transparency. I'm going to tell the truth about everything we know and we don't know about vaccines.
Are you recommending the measles vaccine?
I am not going to just tell people everything is safe and effective if I know that there's issues. I need to respect people's intelligence.
Thank you, your answer.
There and say Jews can't be trusted like you say about Muslims. Israel has committed, in fact, some of the most heinous war crimes in modern history, appears. And as we're seeing the invasion now of Rafah, cutting off the last vestige of escape for Palestinians, the last vestige of aid delivery, 1.3 million Palestinians, including 600,000 children, with nowhere left to go. This is what Palestinians were told was a safe corridor. That is why they all fled to Rafah. Rafah has been bombarded for the last several weeks, killing dozens of people every day. Evidence of summary executions of doctors, evidence of mass graves, hundreds of bodies bound, dozens of men, women, and children bound, evidence, according to the UN, of Palestinians buried alive, using drones to lure out Palestinians with sounds of crying children so they could be shot and killed. I mean, this is unparalleled in modern history, actually, and the devastation that's occurred in the Gaza Strip, according to the UN, will take 80 years to rebuild without conditions. So at this point, Israel needs to be stopped. Yes, I don't go out there and say Jews can't be trusted like you say about Muslims. I empathize with all civilian life. And as far as the term human shields, look, there's been no evidence, according to Amnesty International, during Cast-led and the 2014 onslaught, and today, I mean, there is absolutely no evidence provided that Hamas uses human shields, and that somehow justifies this heinous slaughter of predominantly women and children in Gaza. And even if they were literally standing behind hostages, you still can't just kill hundreds of people in a single airstrike because a Hamas commander is right there. And that's exactly what Israel is admittedly doing.
That's right, get rid of them. Put the dog to sleep and counted this thing when she entered the room to check.
你哄他，他哄你啊？你哄他，他哄你啊？
I think, yeah, definitely up to code. Oh. Okay. You okay? Yeah?
You out there drilling them damn planes out. Hey, look, hold up.
Looks like a
you need to be out there with them, helping them.
Because you head down?
No, you're not. You're playing with them.
I wouldn't want to get caught.
Where are you going?
There ain't no downtime.
How'd you hear?
When you talk to me Friday,
there it is again.
And we go back over there, you're going to realize
I don't hear
how
anything, man.
All right.
OK， 先往外看点啊。
Baron a lot. Baron's a really cool guy.
What's he doing? 10 to 12? 10 to 12?
10 to 12.
I don't know. I was just throwing out answers. What you
Nah,
got?
you were saying he didn't do the regen for the I-knot sensor yet.
Yeah, we're waiting until we get the box fixed. We got the sensor on. We're just waiting to put that wood up under there and the new U-bolts and all that.
Yeah, but what I was told him from the jump, replace the whole side on the right, the rail, and then he just got to replace 6 feet on the front. I don't understand.
Yeah, you got to drill all them rivets out.
Yeah, but not for the back half. You just got to cut it 6 feet and then put the other board on. I mean, the other plate. They're taking rivets out the whole other side.
Yeah, because he said you got the whole thing, the whole side.
For the passenger side, yes.
Well, he
for
told
the
me
driver's side,
for the whole
I have
thing.
6 feet.
Yeah,
$5 I find it this way. This method.
I had them drill all the rivets out.
Okay, maybe that didn't find. Dear South Africans entering the U.S. Yes. Okay. No, not that one. I don't think I'll find it. I definitely tried. But it's just all reposts of this person. Ah. I may have found her. Whoa, she's got Daily Mail articles about her, actually. It seems she's getting her own little attention here. Black woman issues threat to white South African refugees allowed into the U.S. She says, you don't have protection. You know, I bet you Daily Mail will link to her TikTok. We are sleuthing this. Come on, TikTok. No, that's probably just a link to the general website. Come on, Daily Mail. You can do it. No, they don't have it. Moore links her TikTok to her career coaching business. She touts herself as a luminary in the realm of human relations, who is the epitome of wisdom and proficiency, and sells her self-help book. Ah, maybe we can find her this way. I'm committed. Sorry, folks. More. Come on, give me your TikTok. Come on. Anyways, I'm about to give up. Hold on. Moving on. Dear South Africans, so anyways, hunted. You don't have Secret Service. What kind of comment is that? You're not going to have Secret Service. Mask off moments, huh? All around. Incredible. What are y'all saying here? Empowered, yeah. That's not her. That's a demon using her vessel. Fair enough, Harmony. Harmony. Making sure we don't forget. Yeah, trying to tell them, yeah, black people, they're empowered here. Empowered people don't complain. Empowered people don't need to blame and need stuff from others. Empowered people don't make a video about South Africans like this. What did those people do to you? They did apartheid to you? I don't know. I don't think you thought this one through. But anyways, is it true they're gonna pardon Derek Chauvin? Is this fake news? They're saying that they're preparing for a pardon. You know, they're saying to prepare. Why? If Minnesota, that if they're reportedly bringing out the National Guard and briefing on preparations for a Derek Chauvin pardon probably has to do with what they call lovingly civil unrest. It's what I'm sure they call lovingly. They will call lovingly. Oh, it's it's a little bit of civil unrest. So it seems like it might be happening though. That's the reports, the rumors.
Tonight about new civil unrest over the murder of George Floyd. This month marks 5 years since his death sparked protests and riots. Here,
they still call it that too. If you pardon, like, let's say, should Derek Chauvin be pardoned? Shouldn't it be stopped? You can't call it the murder of George Floyd anymore. Now, I bet you legally and all that, that's how it's going to be called, and that would be like maybe par for the course.
You're local.
But, ask an honest person. If they pardon Derek Chauvin for whatever reason, now I guess it has to come down to what reasoning and all that. But if he gets pardoned, then there's no murder.
And around the world. And the city, county, and state are preparing for new potential protests. Jay Coles is here to explain why. Jay?
Kevin, multiple sources...
This is new, right? Yeah, 17 hours ago.
Tell me there are two things driving this. First, in recent weeks, we've seen calls from conservative commentators for President Trump to pardon Derek Chauvin. Second, sources tell me the city of Minneapolis is almost certain the Department of Justice next week will move to end its consent decree over the MPD because it's happened in other cities. So preparations are happening now, just days before the 5th anniversary of George Floyd's murder.
Wait, when was that? April? Wait, what? Days? I can't even remember now. When did George Floyd die? Yeah, May. That was in May. March, April, May. Huh. Look at that. Imagine that. That was during May. I was thinking wrong about that. But it's coming up, huh?
This is what Minneapolis looked like after former MPD officer Derek Chauvin killed George Floyd. And it's something state and city leaders do not want to see happen again. I spoke with 6 total sources today. They tell me Governor Tim Walz, the Minnesota National Guard, Attorney General Keith Ellison, Mayor Jacob Fry, and Hennepin County Sheriff DeWanna Witt have all been briefed on a potential Chauvin pardon and the possible end to the federal consent decree that called for extensive reform at MPD. And tonight, law enforcement is now preparing for possible civil unrest if those two things happen.
It would be about time, honestly, too. Because that's what gets me about some of this stuff. And that's where some of that energy comes from with Diddy. Despite, I'll have egg on my face should I speak too much on something I don't know, right? But I can't help but comment on the true, what seems to be the true motivating force behind this stuff. It's not just a fair society that said, you know what, in this case, this was an abuse of the law, and it was wrong to do that to that man. Or with Diddy, this is not about identities and genders and politics. It's about this individual committing this crime against this woman. I can't help but notice it's hard to see it that way when you look at the world. The real energy behind, and it's probably easier to say about George Floyd here, so let me stick to that. Diddy's a bit of a pocket topic here, a little bit of a unique topic on that one. Maybe it's easier to maybe describe here with George Floyd that it's not about that case. It was the motivating energy was fear of the racism and kissing up to the racist topic and all that.
Mayor Fry is not talking about those plans, but as Commissioner of Community Safety, Todd Barnett, in a statement says, quote, "We've heard the same rumors as everyone else, but the bottom line is that Derek Chauvin would remain behind bars serving his state sentence even if his federal charges are pardoned. To be clear, we have no credible intelligence about any pardon or planned disruptions here in Minneapolis." Sources tell me the Minnesota Department of Corrections would be ready to take Chauvin from a federal penitentiary in Arizona to Oak Park Heights maximum security prison here in Minnesota. Attorney General Ellison telling MSNBC over the weekend, Chauvin's not going free.
He still owes Minnesota 22 and a half years, and he's going to do it either in Minnesota or somewhere, but he's not getting out.
Then on Monday, Governor Walz...
That's crazy. Why would you even care? Owes Minnesota? You know that's not justice. Owes Minnesota. It's just a crime. It's the punishment fits the crime. You do something, and the world has decided, the society, the social contract has simply decided that that's the punishment for that crime. Devoid of emotion, devoid of any... how is that... The crime was committed if you see it as a crime or whatever. And George Floyd is dead. Who's Derek Chauvin owe anything to? It's simply a way of ordering society and a way of deterring other things, deterring further crimes. That's all it is. And a reasonable, men-led society. I think we gotta throw the Christian in there. Would see what I'm saying, right? So, where was I? Yeah, he owes the city years. He owes you. It's a crazy thing to say. You know that someone that speaks with such languages should be kept far, far away from whatever is judicial in this country.
Told reporters, no indication whether they're going to do it or not, but I think it behooves us to be prepared for it with this presidency, that it seems like that might be something they would do.
And in March, White House reporters asked Trump if he would pardon Chauvin.
Your allies are calling on you to pardon Derek Chauvin. Are you considering pardoning Derek Chauvin?
No, I haven't even heard about it.
Now, we did reach out to the White House tonight. We have not heard back. If the Justice Department petitions the court next Thursday to drop the consent decree with MPD, sources tell me the city intends to challenge that move. That would mean a decision from the judge would then come about 4 to 6 weeks after both sides have filed their legal briefs. Reporting live in the newsroom, Jay Coles, 5 Eyewitness News.
There are
So that's it. That's actually somewhat interesting. We'll see what happens there. You're saying that was Keith Ellison? Person who was saying
even if his federal charges are...
You know, I heard that name on the Hague Report before. I know he's like, oh, this guy. I actually am somewhat familiar with him.
Owes Minnesota.
Yeah, Keith Ellison, Minnesota Attorney General. The Chiron reads here. Wasn't he famously pictured with that?
All right, there, fellas. We'll see y'all later.
You know, that's how these communist type people are. Oh yeah, that's him. The Anti-Fascist Handbook.
Saint Nick with the wrench in hand, fixing up his big old ride. Semi-truck, not slave this year, needs to make it home by night. Carols playing on the radio, snowflakes fall within the light. Santa breathing heavy sighs, knows he's got to make it right. Hell, Santa's working on the double, grease and sweat mixed in his beer. Hopes to beat the midnight hour, home with family so revered. Reindeer resting in the barn, elves off duty for the day. Santa's got the tools in hand, wants to make it home to play. Christmas lights upon the dash, guiding him through frosty roads. Truck is roaring down the way as he's counting every load. Hell, Santa's working on the double, grease and sweat mixed in his beer. Hopes to beat the midnight hour, home with family so revered. Reindeer resting in the barn, elves off duty for the day. Santa's got the tools in hand, wants to make it home to play. Christmas lights upon the dash, guiding him through frosty roads. Truck is roaring down the way as he's counting every load. Hell, Santa's working on the double, grease and sweat mixed in his beard. Hopes to beat the midnight hour, home with family so revered. Home with family so revered. Saint Nick with a wrench in hand, fixing up his big old ride. Semi-truck, not slave this year, needs to make it home by night. Carols playing on the radio, snowflakes fall within the light. Santa breathing heavy sighs, knows he's got to make it right. Hell, Santa's working on the double, grease and sweat mixed in his beard. Hopes to beat the midnight hour, home with family so revered. Reindeer resting in the barn, elves off duty for the day. Santa's got the tools in hand, wants to make it home to play. Christmas lights upon the dash, guiding him through frosty roads. Truck is roaring down the way as he's counting every load. Hell, Santa's working on the double, grease and sweat mixed in his beard. Hopes to beat the midnight hour, home with family so revered. Elves off duty for the day. Santa's got the tools in hand, wants to make it home to play. Christmas lights upon the dash, guiding him through frosty roads. Truck is roaring down the way as he's counting every load. Hell, Santa's working on the double, grease and sweat mixed in his beard. Hopes to beat the midnight hour, home with family so revered. Home with family so revered. Saint Nick with a wrench in hand, fixing up his big old ride. Semi-truck, not slave this year, needs to make it home by night. Carols playing on the radio, snowflakes fall within the light. Santa breathing heavy sighs, knows he's got to make it right. Hell, Santa's working on the double, grease and sweat mixed in his beard. Hopes to beat the midnight hour, home with family so revered. Reindeer resting in the barn, elves off duty for the day. Santa's got the tools in hand, wants to make it home to play. Christmas lights upon the dash, guiding him through frosty roads. Truck is roaring down the way as he's counting every load. Hell, Santa's working on the double, grease and sweat mixed in got the tools in hand, wants to make it home to play. Christmas lights upon the dash, guiding him through frosty roads. Truck is roaring down the way as he's counting every load. Hell, Santa's working on the double, grease and sweat mixed in his beard. Hopes to beat the midnight hour, home with family so revered. Home with family so revered. Saint Nick with a wrench in hand, fixing up his big old ride. Semi-truck, not sleigh this year, needs to make it home by night. Carols playing on the radio, snowflakes fall within the light. Santa breathing heavy sighs, knows he's got to make it right. Hell, Santa's working on the double, grease and sweat mixed in his beard. Hopes to beat the midnight hour, home with family so revered. Reindeer resting in the barn, elves off duty for the day. Santa's got the tools in hand, wants to make it home to play. Christmas lights upon the dash, guiding him through frosty roads. Truck is roaring down the way as he's counting every load. Hell, Santa's working on the double, grease and sweat mixed in his beard. Hopes to beat the midnight hour, home with family so revered. Reindeer resting in the barn, elves off duty for the day. Santa's got the tools in hand, wants to make it home to play. Christmas lights upon the dash, guiding him through frosty roads. Truck is roaring down the way as he's counting every load. Hell, Santa's working on the double, grease and sweat mixed in his beard. Hopes to beat the midnight hour, home with family so revered. Home with family so revered. Saint Nick with a wrench in hand, fixing up his big old ride. Semi-truck, not sleigh this year, needs to make it home by night. Carols playing on the radio, snowflakes fall within the light. Santa breathing heavy sighs, knows he's got to
We need to get on up here so you can help him get this damn box and get that wood and shit put up under. Hurry up. You're gonna need a shitload of pot rivets. Huh? I'd say probably 75.
That they are doctors on this photo, right?
Congressman Grego Garcia.
No, I'm just asking about
member
this
of
photo.
MS-13.
This photo.
It wasn't based off of tattoos. It was based off an entire